Let's go.
You want to do this?
Let's do it.
Oh,
hold on. Get your shit together,
I gotta get my
man.
shit together, man. Oh, there we go.
Stand by.
Beers with Nigel is poured for you by Dire Oil Graphics, promotional products and design. They cover your brand bumper to bumper with graphic design, promo products, and print. See what Dire Oil Graphics can build for you at direoil.com. That's DYEROIL.com.
All righty. Welcome to Beers with Nigel. I'm Nigel.
I'm that other guy.
That is Nick. That's a show about beer and other stuff.
Or other things. We don't know.
Whatever.
Whatever.
We're
bad at branding.
Look, welcome back to the show. Dave Bracey, Ed Bailey, the drinking partners. What's up, fellas?
What's going on? I don't believe you're bad at branding. Y'all got real sponsors. That's a NASCAR sponsor.
that's the smooth jazz.
Yeah, I even got my homeboy to do the voiceover for $50, so it was all good.
When they send you an ad with music, you really doing something.
No, I had to produce that. I had to produce that.
Oh, Dire Oils is your company. This dude
No.
It's
So they're down the street from us, but no, I'm the production guy. They do the graphics and shit. You know what I'm saying? How you fellas doing, man?
Beer's involved, so we good.
Well, let's start with that. We'll tell Junior. We're drinking Sap and Juice from the Iowa Beer Project. Shout out to Nick Applegate and my girl Darlene for bringing this beer.
Great stuff.
This is the first time we've ever done this. We actually sent some beer to our guests to drink on the show. And Ed,
you sent beer somewhere, not to us. I don't know.
Well,
eventually it found you. Maybe it was the postal police. We don't know.
I don't know that this is the beer that you sent.
That is true. He could give you any kind of shit, right? So, Ed, what do you have? What did they give you?
So he gave me the Lost in the Clouds.
Okay,
nice.
From Windshift.
New style pale ale, 10%. So this might not be the Wednesday night John.
I don't think that's 10%.
No, that's say 10% alcohol by volume.
I don't think that.
Hold on. I don't know.
Yeah.
There you go.
Is it? Hold on. I worked there and I didn't know that shit was 10%.
Hey, look, I ain't drank yet. I can still read. And then the coconut porter.
Oh, yeah.
I ain't even say who this is by. So this is Windshift.
Yep. Shout out to Tony from Windshift right here in Kansas City.
They're actually both Windshift. And the coconut porter, 6%. So this is gonna be the one for the day because it's wasted one day, but I ain't 21 no more.
Well, I will say this. I don't know if you got the good end or the bad end of the stick, because the day they got the the rule is right. If it's over 8%, you got to tell them
it's 9. You give it up
over 9.
Over 9, so you about 5 points over that motherfucker. I mean, there was some wiggle room, and you went all through there. You went past that shit.
Well, and
Nigel's never met a line he hasn't crossed.
And I knew when I sent it to you, I was like, I knew that label was smudged. I'm about to tell him what the fuck it is. You know what I'm saying?
Man, this should have came with a motherfucking, like, in an orange can, a hazard can or some shit. You know what I mean? Like, I also should have been smart like Ed and read this shit before. Yeah, I mean, like, I got halfway through the name and just gave up and was like, fuck it. I'm going to just, I mean, it was long enough. I was like, well, this is mine. I'm going to give Ed the other one.
So
this is a Diametric Brewing Company. And as much as I can read, it says fries and necklace.
That's my handwriting.
Woven apple brandy, stat aged in Coon Bar.
Coon Bars. Hold on, fam. What is you doing?
I kind of feel like that really needs to be the name from now on.
That was my bad writing. I'll tell you what it is.
It does say necklace.
It does. Well, it is. It's called Friendship Necklace. It's a collab between Diametric and Double Shift Brewing. It's a apple brandy maple barrel aged stout aged in a corn whiskey barrel.
Typing it.
Yeah. That's a fried onion necklace. That's the shit you get.
Now, look, I remember in junior high, I remember the girls talking about friendship bracelets. I don't remember a friendship necklace. I'm thinking of something else.
Old school candy. You got
that old candy.
It's the old school candy. They got the appropriate one because he drink it on the porch. You can do it, man. On the porch.
But that's a big ass can though.
13 and a half. Like, again, I'm figuring like if you sending me a big can, it's going to be low ABV. You just broke all the rules, bro. It's a 13 and a half, like fat boy. Like this is a 32 ouncer, isn't it?
I said that. Yeah, almost 32. Yeah, that's a 750 milliliter.
Yeah, man. That's a block party. Yeah, I mean?
I really thought you guys were going to be sharing that together, but oops.
Yeah,
that is.
But this is the one I should have cracked.
There you go.
This is Stockyards Brewing Company. It's a Cerveza Royale Mexican style lager. Yeah. I've been really getting into these lagers here recently, especially with the pandemic, because going out and buying crowlers of 13% beer wasn't doing it for me. I was, because once you open it, you got to finish it. And I was just like, so I started to get those 4-packs of lighter ABV shit that I can actually finish and, myself and whatnot. And actually started to fall back in love with, like the basics. Something really well done that you could drink a few of and still wake up in the morning. And get shit done is where I'm at. Not tonight is not where I'm at, but
I was going to say, what's the plan with the big ass can? That's the question.
Listen, man, we don't leave any men behind here, so
there you go. No beer left behind.
When the show doesn't end until the can does.
Right? So when they say I'm going to regret it in the morning, I sleep till noon.
Damn.
No regrets.
You got to chase it with the cerveza, man. The loggers give you that fuzzy belch, that bubbly belch. It'll clear it out.
Oh my goodness. Well, he poured that glass. I was like, Lord Jesus. I was like, wow, he's going all in.
That shit look dangerous.
Again, we just got the newly branded Barrel and Flow glasses in, the 21 ouncers. So I was like, let me crack something open and pour it in. Now I'm like, Well, but to be honest though, this is a dangerous 13 and a half. Because it sips like a 9, right? Like it sips like a reasonable, like double, close to triple, right? You know what I mean? So you're like, all right, cool. But every ABV over 9 is a killer. Like it's exponential after that shit. So while it may taste like a 9er, I don't know how it's gonna feel though. But I mean, it's dangerous, man. It's smooth. I'm gonna finish it and enjoy it.
In about 30 minutes, we'll ask you to stand up and we'll just see what happens.
No, that one is dangerous. It's smooth. Shout out to my dudes at the Diametric because every time, oh man, and that's 2 versions of it. There's one in a whiskey barrel, some other whiskey barrel. I don't know what the fuck they did, but they're both smooth and dangerous. But you know what? As long as you enjoy it, that's all that matters. How you liking yours over there, Ed?
So I just cracked the coconut porter because I'm being responsible.
Right.
You definitely get. So the thing about the coconut is funny when he was talking about how that one doesn't drink like a 13 because the coconut for me kind of makes it feel more alcohol-y than it is. So now I can front a little bit like I'm going in. I'm only at a 6. You know what I'm
You're like, I'm on your level too, bitch.
Yeah, crazy shit, man. It was like I was on a 13, but I'm not. I like it though. It's true to style, true to flavor. Also, again, makes me feel like I'm drinking a big boy.
There you go.
After effect. Now, Metric gonna have to change their name to Diabolical. To 13.
They've already had one name change. Right. They want to do another one.
They should probably do a beer called Diabolical for sure.
I think if you tell them, they will.
There you go.
And make it out the Barrel and Flow.
There you go.
You know what? That group, they'd do a Barrel and Flow beer.
Oh, absolutely, they would for sure.
Absolutely, they would.
Those are my dudes right there. So, there we go. There we go.
Speaking of Barrel and Flow, Guys, you're a week away.
Listen, we are 10 days away. Don't be taking days away from us. We need every minute on the hour for this. You know what I mean? But
I gotta tell you,
I thought Dave was gonna say we what were we a year in? And Dave can speak more to this as far as he's handling a lot of logistics. The festival itself, the party's 10 days away.
Right.
But everything that you will see and experience, there's a lot of Zooms and meetings that go into that. So it's 10 days away for y'all, but we about to go to bed.
So for the uninitiated, tell them what Barrel Flow is. Anyone?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Pregnant pause.
Look, I don't know that we've ever thought of the two of you as shy.
Put his bag on. We got to get all the salesmen out of him before that 13 kick in.
So, I mean, it's a black beer and arts festival. Through the barrel flows the creativity. And we it was formerly Fresh Fest, but we wanted to encapsulate more than just beer. We want to bring in the wine, the spirits, big industries that we enjoy but are underrepresented in, and also more intentionally focus on the arts, the visual arts, the music, the beer, the food that's present in all breweries. What brewery you go to that doesn't have a label, that doesn't have music in the background, that doesn't have a food truck outside or a kitchen in the back, right? These are all aspects of the industry and industries that we are in as artists, that we play around in and that we feel that we can offer our efforts to. I mean, there, diversity, I read an article, a local author, Tarane, wrote an article about the diversity word. And she said we should be using reality because, diversity says that, a bunch of white men, there, and then you fit a couple of dots in there and now that's diversity. Whereas what we want is reality. When you walk down the street, you don't see 90% white dudes. You know what I mean? Unless you're at a beer festival, right? You see women, you see people of color, you see black folks and Asian folks and all these different types of folks or whatever. So what we want is the industry to be more reflective of reality. While there is reality issues across, every industry in America, this is where we thrive in as artists, as comedians, as event producers. This is where we can kind of lend our expertise and time and efforts into making that change. And this festival seeks to create that change through collaborative efforts, the collabs that we have, for the festival, starting those conversations, introducing the Black community, and again, the Black community, not the BIPOC community, right? While everybody is welcome, I can't tell you about the Asian struggle. I can't tell you about the Latino struggle. Like those are different struggles. Those are unique to the Latino experience, unique to the Asian, experience. But we can speak to the Black experience and the struggles therein. And, again, this festival is looking to celebrate those Black arts, celebrate, the culture that we have created and that has kept America, that helped build America and keeps America going. While also finding opportunity in the craft beer industry, economic empowerment, because craft is an economic word. Craft is a political term. Craft is meaning that when I give you this money, that's going to come back around at some point, right? You know what I mean? You're gonna sponsor the softball team or something, right? You're gonna hire somebody in my community, right? I mean, once AB InBev comes in, then we kind of turn off because it's like, I ain't never met Anheuser or Busch, right? So you're less likely to give money to them because of the economics of it. So, that whole keep politics out of beer. Well, the Brewers Association doesn't believe in keeping politics out of beer. That's why they have a team of lobbyists that go down to Washington and fight for craft brewers, this association of businesses. So,
I don't know if you know this or not, but for people like me, keep politics out of blank, 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 blank. That's a code, right? You know that? Okay, I just want to make sure you knew that was our code. That's our secret code.
We hear the dog whistles. Yeah.
Oh, all right.
I listen to the DMX, right? And I mean, we know about dog whistles, but again, I mean, that's what we're looking to do is is celebrate Black culture and empower the Black community through the beer industry.
Well, you said the word economic earlier, and I think it's so. In beer Twitter, Dag, you're one of my favorite follows, especially as it gets closer and closer to the festival. It's been fun to watch your emotions kind of do this. But I think it's important. You guys have made a real intentional effort. You are paying these artists because a lot of festivals, hey, come out for the exposure. You're paying these people.
Yeah, I mean it has to be intentional, right? So I think if you had to ask me and I had to respond to what is this festival, primarily I say it's a vibe, right? Because you gotta reach everyone. It's a vibe, it's a whole vibe, but that vibe is created by the investment of the artist as well as the people, right? The people support the artist, but the artists got to feel supported. They got to put their best foot forward. They have to feel empowered. They have to look forward too, right? And for an artist, I look forward as an artist. I look forward to the thing that's about to give me some money. I'm doing the art for the love, but I gotta sustain my love. Like when you with a woman, you love her, but you still gotta take her to dinner. You still gotta you can't survive off love. You know what I mean? What was that movie? Disappearing Acts. It was Wesley Snipes and Sanaa Lathan.
Yeah.
Like she loved this dude, but then it got to a point where it's like, yo, we got obligations. So you a cool dude. I love how you fix that sink, but Comcast keeps sending us letters. So and these communities are empowered. And when you talk about economy, it starts at the micro level. It is like we all are supporters of our economy. And anytime you go into a business or if you talk to financial experts, the ideal client is the small business owner because they affect all points of the economy. They pay the bills. They pay the people who pay the bills. They help with property tax and all that. So you have to empower people. And why not have fun doing it?
I mean, that's what this is about. Let's talk about, the last year. I mean, since the last time we talked to you guys, obviously there was a whole process to do the DigiFest last year. Then you have to pivot to say, okay, we're gonna actually do a festival. What's the last year been like? Because again, you didn't know if you're going to have an in-person festival or not, right? I mean, it was still kind of up in the air. So you've, to his point, your emotions on Twitter, it's been like that.
Your pain has been entertaining for me. I apologize.
That's why you put it on Twitter. You don't put it on Twitter for support.
That's right.
Well said.
What's the last year been like for you guys? Getting ready to do it again. You know what I'm saying?
So, I mean, I want to, credit Ed, because he was early on, like whenever the pandemic hit, like in, around March, April, when we didn't even know if we were going to do 2020 or not, like in person or whatever. He was like, yo, we need to start planning for this to not happen. Like that, like very early on was like, this might not happen. And I was still like, I don't know, man. Like maybe, like shit, we're not about to do a Zoom festival or whatever. Like that just sounds like trash or whatever. But, like we, the team, like once, it was real quick. We were planning on canceling. And then I don't know what happened. We had a meeting and everybody on the team was like, all right, yeah, let's pivot to a digital festival. And we just hit the ground running and everybody was like, all right, so what needs to happen? And all of the connections started to like pop. We started to hit the vendors up. We hit the artists up. We hit the venues up. We hit the brewers up. We hit everybody up and started, putting like this fever pitch. We started planning the virtual side of it in like mid-May for an early August festival. It was 2.5 months, of planning. But somehow, again, we pulled it off. And then, afterwards we kind of like let things cool off. And then it was just right back to it. Reaching out to folks. Early on, having like some kind of like blind faith, and not so much blind, I mean, but to some extent, yeah, I mean, like blind in that, like, okay, the vaccine is supposed to come out, so
Right.
the vaccine comes out and people get it, and you know, Jesus comes back and blesses everybody, and you know, like all this, like if all the shit lines up or whatever, then we will have this festival. So like it's been this, but also if it doesn't happen, we need to have a backup plan. We need to have the digital side. We need to have this and the other. And you know, in doing that, it's been you know, and even with the, you know, with the rebrand and whatnot, rebranding is really difficult. You know, as we learned, and not knowing whether or not we would get the same support.
Yeah,
under
same
a
love.
different name. You know what I mean? But even though we found that we do have more, you know, we have the same support. It's a matter of just letting people know that this is a different thing, right? I mean, we did an event last week and people were showing up in Fresh Fest shirts going, the fuck is Barrel and Flow? Like, so let me, like, wait, hold on. Wait, you ain't get any of this stuff? Like,
Yeah.
you know, so, you know, the last year has been, it's been trying, in the sense that we have to plan for a festival that we're not sure is going to happen, while dealing with all of the variables that come with a pandemic. You know, like people, like one of the brewers dropped out because he was in the ICU from COVID.
Oh shit.
You know, we have people drop out all the time because, you know, of this reason or that reason, COVID related. Our brewers and vendors wouldn't sign on until later because they were waiting. They were playing the wait and see game. Ticket holders playing the wait and see game. You know what I mean? Like, you know, and maintaining all of this while also like having a personal life. You know what I mean? Like, you know,
Right.
Ed just got is a little heavier on the fingers. I don't know if you saw his hand or not, but he out here bringing,
There we go.
with the
I
wedding.
need this
You know what I
festival.
mean?
I need it.
So yeah, it's been a roller coaster. But you know, ultimately, I think that the support of one, we have a really strong team. You know what I mean? Like Ed, you know, said earlier, you know, we just got off of another board meeting. You know what I mean? Like we have a lot of folks that are dedicated. They have great ideas, you know, great connections and belief and faith in the mission, and that it's a worthwhile, you know, mission and whatnot. And it's a shared goal. And that has been the only thing keeping this fest together is that team, and the greater community saying, yeah, no, this is what we should be doing.
Yeah, that's it right there. Like it's, you know, that blind faith, while blind, it is, I guess it's buttressed by the fact that, you know, people believe in what you're doing, right? People see value in it. And that's the thing. It's all about creating value. People see value in it. But before you get the consumer to see value in it, you got to get the lineup to see value in it. You got to get people to say, I'm showing up, because that's your most direct to consumer, you know, promotion. I'm getting a booth down here. Come through to my booth. Well, you got to come to the festival to come to my booth. Now, when you know what I'm saying? So, and just like creating that value, and you don't know where these people sit in the city. You don't know who they know, who they're talking to, who they're bringing in from out of state. My family comes every year. You know what I mean? Like that's now you bringing Cleveland through. So now all of a sudden, if my family wants to bring more people, then they can bring more people. Or, you know, it's just like you do right by folks, and it will happen for you. You just got to continue to do right through like trying times. So when we, I remember I was having a discussion with Dave. I was standing in front of my house and I was like, actually one of my professional colleagues approached me like, yo, so are y'all still doing it? Have you thought about maybe doing something virtual if you can't get together? Because I don't want to miss a year. And I'm just like, I don't know what that means, but I'll bring it up. Like, I don't know what virtual looks like. I don't know what a virtual beer share is, but I think it's right on brand with what we've been, right? We've been this diversion from the norm, but very true to what it's supposed to be. So when you kind of had that mix, that's a unique mix. Like we're a diversion from what you normally see at these festivals,
right?
But we're very true to what these festivals are supposed to bring to the people.
Yeah,
and people enjoy that, and they rock with it. So it's a vibe.
I think here's my story about the power of this festival. So Fresh Fest 2019 is why we're doing this show. Nigel comes back and says, I got shit I want to say. That's kind of how he came up to me and started this whole idea. I got shit I want to say.
No, to be honest with you, I had never listened to a podcast until you guys. I wasn't a podcast guy. It was the first podcast. I'd listened to some other beer podcasts. I was like, these is whack. You know what I'm saying?
Because they talk about just beer. And
there was no fun in it. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yes, beer, but I don't want to discuss the yeast all the time and shit. You know what I'm saying? And the hops. Well, that's cool.
Look, there's a time to nerd out.
I mean, look, just like right now. What time is it?
It's mystery beer time.
It's mystery beer time.
Got?
You know, we keep it classy. You know,
you gotta get graphics and sounds.
Like sometimes you got to stay real.
And bags.
I'm just a poor man from Southwest Missouri, man.
Now, y'all got graphics now.
That's all him.
But actually, this is what, episode 47.
47, yep.
And we have had so many guests on where they just talk with Nigel back and forth about Fresh Fest.
Oh, I don't know how many people that we've had on that were there that I didn't meet till they came on, but they were at Fresh Fest. I was like, I was there too. It's still crazy.
Yeah. So the reach you guys have had has been pretty damn cool.
So we're coming, right?
We will be there.
That's I would hope so. Yeah. No, I mean, I remember meeting you at the Friday event at the conferencing.
Yeah.
You came in from Kansas. We doing it. We gonna do this shit. We gonna do this shit in Kansas. I was like,
yeah.
And then next thing you know it, you were like, yo, we got a podcast. We're moving forward. Da, da, da. And I was just like, oh, that's dope as shit. And that's when we hope that this festival. We hope that at some point this isn't the only Black beer festival in the country, and that more people are, like taking notes. I mean, one, I hope that everybody in the industry is taking notes, right? Like Black, white, or other. If you want to throw a dope ass event, you should be taking notes, because I mean, we don't do many things well, but God damn it, if I can't. I'm very proud of the fest and the community that's around and the team that I work with. Like, we work with so many talented people, and it is a dope ass event. It's a lot of hard work. We listen to a lot of people as a result, but I mean, hopefully people are taking notes. They're looking at. They're seeing that, a festival needs to be, or even a business needs to be more than just a bottom line of money and a cash grab. Yeah. But also, I'm hoping that, we're hoping that Black folks are coming in, taking notes, and then going back, like learn globally, apply locally, and taking these notes and going back and recreating this in there, because we can't do it all. And if we're the only ones doing it, we're failing. I mean, if you're, again, and I say this all the time, but Killmonger really became the enemy when he cut off the line of secession. Yeah, I mean, that's the point in the movie in Black Panther where it was like, all right, I can see your anger, I can see this, that, and the other. But once he told him to burn those flowers because he didn't want nobody else to take his place,
right?
I was like, all right, bro, you lost me there. Because a good leader, a good business should be instilling confidence and nurturing growth beyond that. Because if not, then when you go, everything else goes with you, right? And then you're left with nothing. So, hopefully folks are learning from this and applying it where they are. And I mean, we always keep the door open. We're not gatekeepers. I mean, you can reach me and Ed at any point and ask us questions, and we're there. And if we don't know the answers, we'll find somebody that does have the answers.
Yeah, I dig that. That's what I love about you guys. The thing is well thought out, and it can be duplicated. You know what I'm saying? Because every city has its own culture and its own Black culture. And, even here, shout out to my dudes from Vine Street Brewing. We're getting our first Black homebrew in Missouri. Three brothers that I know. And they're doing it in the 18th and Vine area, which is Jazz District, the Negro League Baseball Museum. So there's a huge opportunity to do what you guys have done. Shout out to my dude Woody, because he did. Go ahead, Ed.
That's where Michael Jackson was singing about Vine Street, right? I'm going to Kansas City. And he's like,
Michael Jackson?
Yeah, I'm going to
What song was that?
I don't remember that lyric.
I don't remember that song.
No, it was okay. In the Jackson's movie, the singer, it was Jason Weaver. He's like, I'm going to Kansas City.
Okay.
Kansas City, here I come. Then he said he's going to 12th Street and Vine.
Well, yeah, there you go.
There you go.
That's the area.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
a super historic jazz
Y'all
district.
got me looking good. I'm about to find, because now that was a fake movie. If they put a fake song, I can't imagine they would put a fake song in a Jackson's movie. They got so many songs.
Wait, so when we had you guys on the last time, we had just had on a guest. It was Kansas City's first black female assistant brewer.
Yeah.
And then just a few weeks ago, we had on the guys from Vine Street.
Yeah. So
Missouri's first.
and
black
shout out to
brewer.
my dude Woody, because he did the what the hell was the name of his God, what was the name of his beer festival?
Hip hop.
Hip
Hooray.
hop's array. And it was like a mini Fresh Fest.
Hip hop.
And when you guys came along, I'm like, oh, this is what Woody should be doing. And so hopefully next year we'll get those because they're going to open early next year. Next year's Barrel and Flow, we're going to have them there. So because there's some good brothers, and I think that would be good for them, because they're gonna be mad when I send them all these pictures from. I
don't know. They're pretty busy right now.
Well, they are. They ain't doing too much. Hey, speaking of busy, what's that beer, man? I ain't got no beer.
Oh, we got City Barrel.
Oh wait, y'all ain't drinking yet? I'm over.
No,
here.
we had one, but we ran out. We've been talking.
It's time. This is
right.
the mystery beer, City Barrels Stratosphere. It's a double hazy IPA,
Okay.
and it's an 8.1.
Well, we're supposed to guess the ABV.
Oh, I forgot about our game.
we did-
We
we
started
did.
a new
I'm
game.
like,
Guess
what
the
part of
ABV.
mystery?
Well, I pulled it. Well, he's never seen it before.
Yeah, so I don't know what beers are coming for the show.
I just show up with the shit. You know what I'm saying?
That was like our hey, let's do something funny when we first started.
Yeah.
And that was it. That's as far as we went.
Yeah, that's as far as we got.
The joke ended there.
This is
So-
excuse to drink. That's-
Exactly. So let's talk about this. So obviously the fest is you got to be vaccinated. You got to have was it negative for 48 or 72 hours? How did you guys were in the process of getting ready to make this happen? How was that received?
It's been
it depends on who you ask.
Yeah.
Are you willing to get vaccinated or not? Like if you and Dale, I know he's gonna go into a diatribe, so let me just, because he gets real passionate about it. But essentially, for me, like if somebody was to tell me you can't come in unless you vaccinate, it's not a big deal. I'm happy you doing that because I'm willing to do it because I understand the benefits of. Some people who get mad are people who are holding on to some ridiculous whatever to. I don't even know. Like that's the frustrating part. Like, why are you telling me that I'm wrong for saying let's be as safe as possible? Like, who says that? Like, let's be as safe as possible. No, bro.
We don't like to be told what to do.
What we being safe for?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's been dope. Overwhelmingly positive. There have been some, like somebody tagged us and was like, oh, drinking partners on that shit. Like,
Yeah.
like,
And I'm alive.
we've had some folks, and we're used to backlash. I mean, we're a black festival, right? So, racism have always popped up. It's just weird that like now it's racist and now anti-vaxxers. So we getting it kind of from both ends.
No, they're the same people.
You know what I mean?
It's just people.
You're not wrong.
You know what I mean? But it's ultimately, there's a lot of misinformation out there. And there's a lot of folks that are fearful for the wrong reasons. And it's sad that we live in the age of misinformation. A lot of people get their fucking news and stats from Facebook. They don't know how to properly source like their information and whatnot. So like, and that's, white, black, other, across the spectrum, America has done a great job of gutting the education system. And, as the age of information has, arisen and anybody can have a voice and a platform. I mean, like, what is real is, the education, right? Like, so I have a journalism background. I went to journalism school and I learned about biases and sources and things of that nature. If you study, science and things of that nature, peer reviewed articles, things of that nature, whatever, these are things that like are taught, they need to be learned. If you don't have the education system to instill that, if that's not widely known, then you fall susceptible to bullshit. And that's where we are now, is that we
if you disparage the people that are trained to do those things and deliver you the news.
Right. You know what I mean? So like,
right.
You know what I mean? Like not all people are equal. I tell people all the time, like, look, I don't have any degrees. I'm not an expert at anything. If you hear me say something, fact check that shit.
Right.
Like, I'm not the end all be all of sources. I mean, like, I don't want that responsibility. I don't claim that shit. You know what I mean? I try to disseminate information that I get as much as I can, but ultimately, like, you need to fact check me and everybody else that comes in, and not everybody has that, especially in a lot of these pockets where blind faith is the call, right? You know what I mean? Religion has said to walk by faith, not by sight. A lot of motherfucking lemurs out here jumping off of cliffs, you know, from that same mentality. So, you know what I mean? Like it's shitty that the folks are in that place. All we can do is lead by example. So, you know, we say, hey, this is what we're doing. We encourage you to do that. We can't force you to do it. Right. But ultimately, if not, then you can't get in here. You know, so we'll have rapid testing at the door for folks that don't, you know, for whatever reason couldn't show up in time with a negative test. And we'll also have a vax tent in case anybody wants to get drunk and fall into a needle.
I fucking love this. As a matter of fact, I don't even need to be paid, but can I have a job where I push them over that cliff?
Looking for volunteers.
I mean, I can do this real good.
Some kegs around.
And we asked, I was like, yeah, let's set it up or whatever. She was like, well, they're gonna have to, you know, cut people off if they seem visually intoxicated. And I'm like, I don't know about that.
What's the science behind that? Like, I'm gonna be more vaccinated. My blood is
double the fun. Well, I will say the people that, because I've been talking about this festival for eons. You know what I'm saying? And when I'm telling people that that's what you guys are doing, people are like, "That's fucking badass." People here are like, "That's a great fucking idea." Because think about it, here we haven't had a beer festival. We ain't done shit.
There's one coming up soon, and it's a small thing.
Yeah,
but are
they doing it?
They just decided.
A lot of motherfuckers are scared to do it. You're going to alienate whoever
going through with the festival.
No, to say, well, doing the festival and saying you need to be vaccinated.
Oh yeah.
I think this is a very libertarian area. Yeah, I mean, and I'm going to put that lightly.
But because it's about money for them, right? Yep. Like, I mean, like there's a lot of beer festivals that are going on around here. There's a lot of events. There's a lot of establishments around here that are catering. Like, let's be real about it, right? Like the majority, like the target demographic for craft beer is the libertarian, go fuck yourself, don't tell me what to do, and entitled, a beer drinker. Like
I have a friend. He says the libertarian motto is "I got mine, fuck you."
Right? You know what I mean, like, so, like, to do that, you have to be willing to lose money. Ultimately,
right.
When we made the decision, when we were all like, I mean, we all like, sat as a team and talked about it, because we had been talking about it since we started talking about it. We've been like, hey, should we do this? Should we do this? Once we got the okay from the lawyers that we could do this, then we went back to the team and said, hey, are we doing this? And we all had a discussion, and we were like, all right, yeah, let's pull it. And we pulled the trigger knowing that we may lose money as a result. But the festival was never built on making money. The festival was built on building up the Black community, making sure that, the Black community has the tools necessary to succeed moving forward. And COVID is not a tool that we need to move forward. So ultimately, it was an easy decision. But that might be harder for a beer festival that doesn't have a cause beyond getting shit-faced and making money.
Well said.
Well said.
It's part of that vibe. So the thing about a vibe is everyone on one accord, right? So when we put the festival out and we put this vaccination policy out there, we understand that the people who rock with us, who rock with this festival, they rock in that direction. You know what I'm saying? And the folks the backlash, you don't really need to be there. And it's cool, just go wherever you gonna go. But the vibe is gonna be consistent, it's gonna be the same, and the folks are comforted by it. And it's kind of like why we go to craft breweries. We always talk about how the brewery is a different experience than the bar. Like we're still drinking alcohol, but the conversation is a little more elevated. The folks are a little more nuanced, more polished. Oftentimes, you just have a different vibe. The conversations actually they're audible. Like you can understand if nobody's falling on you or whatever. So when you come to our festival, it's that same type of feel. It's like, people, we responsible. We all got families. We all have, people that we love and care about. That I know I wasn't into getting when it first rolled out. I was like, on some, I don't know, man. You know what I'm saying? But then it's like, I got elders in my family. I got folks who have illnesses. So if it ain't even for me, it's like I can't chance being any sort of vessel for which this thing gets bad for anybody else. Yeah. So if you can't break it down to that level for yourself, then fuck you then. I don't know what y'all language shit. Y'all got sponsors.
It's all. It's not a family show.
You can say whatever you want.
Trust me. If you met our sponsor, you'd be like, okay, I get it.
Well, in the end, though, you're protecting your investment, which is this festival, right? You are assuring that it can go on because nobody's going to make it a super spreader.
But see that problem, and the thing about looking at it from the standpoint of protecting the investment is you protect things in different ways. Some people view financial security as protection, right? It's integrity for us. You got to be able to look at me and Day a certain way, regardless of if this goes on. Because honestly, let's be real. It's going to be at least 2 years before this festival takes place in its pure form. You know what I'm saying? Like even this year is altered a bit. We were able to procure Southside, which is great. Southside works and whatnot, but then there's capacity limitations. Then you're dealing with, folks dropping out because they don't, they're a little leery about this, that, and the third. It's the field of the way people interact is different right now. It's not necessarily the same. 2019, 2018 was a whole different type of vibe. There's a whole different environment. It's a whole different feel, right? But we want to bring that same energy in a modified space. Right. We could try to protect the investment, saying, all right, we built up enough capital to make it as big as possible, or protect the integrity and be like, what you're getting when you come here. Right. And you understand the quality, the time that's put into the event and all that.
So let's talk about that. We haven't got into that yet. You guys have put together. Go ahead.
No, I just want to say we're humans, man. Like ultimately at the end of the day, like this business shit, whether this festival does it, there's another festival again, whether there's another podcast again, whether they book us for another show ever again, you could fire me from all the shit and you could never whatever. But at the end of the day, I'm still a grown ass man and I have responsibilities outside of business. And I don't want somebody's death on my hands. Yeah. You know what I mean, like I don't want somebody to say to me, I got this because I came to your shit and you was irresponsible for that. And that's something that, like, as a grown man, and me and Ed understand that that's why me and Ed rock, because outside of all this, we've done comedy, we've done this, the beer thing or whatever, we're doing different shows or whatnot. Throughout all of this, we always come back to the human side of things, and we always place humans before money, capital, and everything else. So, that at the end of the day is that, the integrity of the festival is also integrity of ourselves. Like we need to be able to, go home and look our kids in the face and say, we did something that was good for you, not like just was getting money in our pockets and whatnot. So,
yeah.
Teach your kids rule number 2, man. Don't be a dick.
And he's dead serious because he uttered the phrase, not to fuck with a black dude when he say, I'm a grown ass man. You've reached the boiling point. Like,
It's serious as hell.
You're going to put that COVID on my name.
That's right. The hell no.
Out here in these streets.
So let's talk about the fest itself. Every time I look up on Twitter or on the Facebooks, it's gonna be lit. Tell people what they think and expect, and for those who are gonna miss it, fuck you. But what can we expect?
I mean, if you haven't been, when we say vibes, right, we're talking about a litany and variety of artistry, visual artists, musicians. What is it? Is it 4 stages? Mm-hmm. As far as the beer, 75 collaborations. You got 4 stages of music. visual artists, you know, all that running around. You got the people, and then there's a far-reaching impact that I think they should speak on, because the vibe of the festival itself is major. First of all, if you've been to Pittsburgh, if you can get an outdoor event in the sun, that in itself, God bless. You know what I'm saying? The venues outside works. I mean, it's hard to, the beauty of the physical beauty, the atmosphere, the aesthetics are going to be there. The beer is going to be there, you know, in variety. The artistry is going to be there. You know what I mean? You got music, but then there's this far-reaching aspect. So now you're contributing to something bigger than just the festival. And I'll let Dave kind of speak more in depth on that.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, again, we have those elements, and every, you know, we split them up in quadrants. Every quadrant has some music, some food, some visual art going on, you know, some beer, and small businesses to support. A lot of the thing about this festival is wild, man. In 2019, people were showing up. Everybody's got a different T-shirt on. You know what I mean? Promoting their own business, and, you know what I mean, small thing. And people are running up to each other going, yo, what is that about? Tell me more about that T-shirt you're wearing. You know what I mean? Right. How can I support you? Right? And these small vendors are like, you know, selling out. Typically at beer festivals, everybody's just going to the beer and saying, fuck whoever's in the middle. Whereas with this festival, people are showing up and going, well, how do I support you? You know what I mean? Like, let's, you know, the beer is kind of secondary. A lot of the brewers leave with heavy kegs because people forget that they're drinking because they're too busy having conversations and connecting with each other.
That's Nigel's story, man.
Right. Yeah, I mean, listening to the music and whatnot. And like, you know, and it's so much more than that. It's, you know what I mean? And with that, you know, we you know, that's what people expect when they come in is a place where, you know, they can connect with folks. They can support other Black folks, other small businesses. They themselves can be empowered. You know what I mean? Like, by having these conversations. Every booth you go to is a story. It's either a unicorn, a Black-owned brewery,
right, or
it's a collaboration, a newly formed, you know what I mean, like, relationship, or maybe even a long-lasting relationship, like 18th Street and Revolution, right? You know what I mean, like 18th Street, Drew, I went over, was talking to them one night, and like, you know, he was putting down notes, like he was building his brewery while having beers at Revolution, and then opened up 18th Street, and, you know what I mean, is a powerhouse over there. Now they have a distillery, but like, whenever we were talking about the collaboration, like, Revolution was like, yo, we've been looking for a reason to work with 18th Street, and we've been trying to get 18th Street on the festival for years. So we was like, oh shit, that's dope as hell, right? I mean, so you're gonna hear that story at the booth, or you're gonna hear the story of somebody that overcame and became a Black-owned brewery or whatnot. Yeah. I mean, and like, that's the vibe of the fest, is that, you know, brewers, you know, top to bottom, the musicians are being paid, they're happy as shit. You know what I mean, they're getting to express themselves, and they got a crowd that they can grow in. The brewers are dope, are happy as shit, because they're building their community and their you know, their understanding of, you know, both themselves and the broader community. Small businesses are coming in, folks are coming in, experiencing new things, and hopefully everybody leaves there feeling like not only did they have fun, but they progressed in some way. You know what I mean, emotionally, spiritually, intellectually. You know what I mean, like, economically, however they did. Hopefully you leave feeling better than when you left, and it's a long-lasting feeling that isn't, you know, like one of those fleeting feelings. Like, again, when you go to the bar and you just have some beers in the back, you know what I mean, or whatever, and it's just like, how many blurs do we have? You know what I mean, right? I mean, those blurry nights. Hopefully this festival isn't a blur. No. Hopefully this festival is a thing that you take with you and go, I'm different as a result of that.
I mean, that's exactly what happened. I will say this. When I was there, like, you know, you made the point, I was busy talking to people, right? Didn't drink a lot of beer. Drank some beers, maybe had one or two of the collabs. So this year I got a little smarter, right? So when that shit came out on Tavor, they don't even deliver to Missouri, but I got some folks in Kansas. Sent it right over to Kansas. I'm like, if I don't get those beers at the festival, I'm still gonna have those fucking beers.
Let's talk about that though. I mean, that you have been dropping all these. That's a lot of collabs.
That's ridiculous.
A lot of beers that are gonna be at this festival.
A lot of beers, man. Like, it's you know, it's years in the making. Again, it's 2 years since we threw an in-person fest. I mean, and a lot of connections. Last year we did the virtual festival, and I think honestly, I feel like the virtual festival kept this alive. I don't know if we would still be here if it wasn't for the pivot last year, keeping that, you know what I mean, the validity of it and growing as a result of that. And once we started letting people know that yes indeed, we are going to be coming back this year, we rebranded, and we're looking, to continue the mission and whatnot. Like folks started reaching out, and it's I wasn't expecting it. Like, I mean, like, because you go through a pandemic and it gets dark and you don't see people for so many months. You're like, does anybody even give a fuck about this?
Right.
Like, what is we even doing? And we announced or whatever, and folks started reaching out from all over, like, yo, how do we get on? Da 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 da. Like, and I mean, we got the link up with some killer, like Jay Wakefield, Trillium, Other Half, Allagash, Revolution.
Yeah.
I mean, like just the who's who. Like we were out at Revolution with Josh, the owner of Revolution or whatever, and he says, yo, outside of like the Firestone, and maybe even including the Firestone Festival, which is an invite only for one of the like goats of the game, y'all got the best lineup of a beer festival I've seen in the country. Yeah. And I think that, again, that's a testament to what we're doing, because it's more than beer. I mean, Trillium hit me up. Like when I talked to Trillium, Jean-Claude was like, listen, we don't want this to be like all about Trillium. He's like, he's like, typically when we attach ourselves to these festivals,
right,
it becomes all about Trillium, da 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 da. We don't want to overtake it. I was like, listen, man, I don't think you're gonna have to worry about too much. You being a standout, like, look, don't get me wrong, we love Trillium or whatever, but like next to Allagash and the Revolution and everything, like, again, it's an all-star team. You know what I mean? And again, because I think that the people who succeed in business, especially some of the larger folks in this industry or whatever, are the people that understand how to progress and evolve, and they understand that like, this isn't charity. You know what I mean? This is evolution. If you get down or lay down with this, right? You know what I mean? Like, we don't go out to people and say, hey, can you do a collaboration with us? That would be really
swell. Be swell.
Wow.
Like, we doing this over here. This shit is working. Clearly, it's working because you heard about it, right? And so you can get down, or we'll just continue without you, because like, we're building a table, right? We're not asking for a seat at your table.
Right.
We're building a table, and if you want a seat here, you need to do what's necessary in order to do that. And that mentality really, and it's not like, trying not to be like, like braggadocious, like it's like, oh yeah, we the shit or whatever. But it's evolution in the sense that, this movement, this country is built on diversity. It's built on, like, it's the melting pot. That's what makes America great. That's what makes some civilization great. So if you don't understand that, then again, it's only a matter of time. Like even the fucking royal family had to bring some diversity into that shit. See how pasty the motherfuckers is. They look like, like the princes is looking real like West Virginia. Like,
And I just want to real quick touch on some of these. So the Tavor thing came about because we had to go virtual. Having to pivot virtual bred new opportunity. We didn't, because I don't think that happens if we just do a regular in-person fest last year. I don't know if the Tavor thing happens. We had to figure out something that made this feel like a festival, even if we couldn't be in person. It's like a shared experience. And so all of a sudden now, again, you build that goodwill and you have a good product. Now you can piece those things together. Now you can sit at the table and say, hey, we can put this together, right? And so, yeah, the Tavor package is great, but then all of a sudden you're empowering these artists. So now the artwork, you might not even want to try the beer. You might just want to have the artwork in your crib. Yeah. And I'd be cool with that. So, it's all about, again, staying true to your mission, staying good to the people, perseverance.
And on the flip side of that, just the collabs, when you're putting these,
you're putting two geniuses together to make something.
Well, not even two geniuses. You got some big dogs with some little dogs, and it ups everybody's game. You know what I'm saying? For some of those brewers to have that opportunity to brew with. I mean, and not all those people are brewers. I mean, you guys have put some people together that, you know, artists or whatever, performers or whatever, what you guys done in the past. That's huge. That's not something that's even been done. Nobody's doing that shit.
Nobody realizes they're doing that shit. Nobody realizes that it's been done all the time. When Puffy does the Ciroc commercials, that's people who make alcohol collaborating with an artist. That's what that is. It's you have this flavor, this sauce, bring it over here because I got a product. And that's no different with the beer collabs. This person has built a following. Let's bring that following to this industry because they don't know that they enjoy it. They don't know that, but or maybe they just need a little bit more sauce on the can. And
yeah. So I mean, it's a universal thing you guys are doing. Like you said, it's that mission. You know, you want all the boats to rise. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and also, you know, like, and I mean, the beer industry is really good at taking, you know, a Biggie lyric and making a beer out of it and then putting it on some pseudo shit and nobody black getting paid from that shit. And we're like, well, what, like, is Biggie the only motherfucking rapper y'all know? Like, I mean, that motherfucker been dead for like 20, 30 years now. Like, why is that? Why ain't you like, you clearly love black, culture. I mean, how many brewers you go into and they playing, you know, rap music, but ain't no black folks in there or whatever. So it's like, you love the culture. You know what I mean? Like, you know, why not us? I mean, why aren't you paying us for it? And that's the thing is that America loves black people. It's just, like, it's easy. It's pop. We're popular. The world loves black people. You know what I mean, loves black culture. They don't love black people. And that's the thing that we're changing with that is like, okay, no. You don't just get our culture. You need to pay us for that. And moving forward, I think that, you know, outside of the beer industry, I think that there's a movement, you know, in the black community to have that ownership, to not just be pilfered, you know, high fashion, right? High fashion is always going back to the black community. What used to be bougie and ghetto, now all of a sudden is on a fucking French runway.
Now it's hot.
I mean, like, now it's hot or whatever, you know what I mean? But like, who's getting paid for that? You know, like who's getting, I mean, the originators of those styles and things of that nature. And that's what this festival seeks to do in the larger scope of things. Like we're just a microcosm of what's going on elsewhere in the sense that there's this awakening in the community. And I think we've always known, but I think that now with social media, we're able to connect in ways that we haven't before. And we are now collectively saying, no, you don't just get the culture. You need, it's a package deal. Pay me, motherfucker. You know what I mean? And that's what we're doing. That's why you don't get the label. Every label is a paid black artist. That's it. You know what I mean? You got to pay a motherfucker. You don't just get to use their talents to sell some shit. You know what I mean? And you got to pay us. And that works because ultimately when you pay somebody, you get a better result.
Oh, absolutely.
You get a longer lasting relationship. You feel better about it. The people feel better about it. They want to support that more. And now you have a longer lasting relationship. It's not just a one-off.
So as far as, go ahead and tell me that beer, bro.
All right.
Then I'll ask my question.
Denver Beer Company, Graham Cracker Porter.
There you go.
Do you want to guess the ABV after I pour
That's
it?
probably 5.6%.
Oh, damn, on the nose.
Graham Cracker Porter. Wow. So 5.6%?
What is it? On the nose.
5.6%.
How did you get you read the beer?
No. I just totally guessed.
The decimal, right?
Look, when he doesn't even let me start the game, you know he's cheating. You know he's cheating. He didn't even let me start the game.
You know, look, sometimes even the squirrel gets lucky, you know what I'm saying? It's a nut, you know what I'm saying?
You know, you're doing
a teleprompter.
That's a really, you started this talk the last time we had you guys on, where you were talking about, you know, opening up to get paid, not just to have black brewers, but every part of the industry. Get into distribution, be an owner, be a marketing company.
Back of the house, front of the house.
Be the artist, right, yeah.
All the things.
That really just about creating that opportunity and that access to get paid in every part of the business.
But that's craft, right? Like, again, we talked about the brewery experience versus the bar experience, right? People are at breweries, and it's a very diverse, a variety of experience, a variety of why they're there, what they're talking about. Bars, everybody's just getting fucked up, trying to dance or hump on something.
You mean the guy ordering 7 and 7 isn't the same guy ordering the double IPA?
Exactly. The guy ordering the double IPA, he might have had a bad day. He might be getting thrashed. He just do it in a different way. There might be a hooked up situation happening. Or there might be a family having dinner and there's children there. Or somebody walking their dog and just stop to get a Kolsch. Like, you never know.
Yeah.
And so if there's variety in the experience, there's also variety in industry, right? Like every industry, it has a backbone of something. Nobody goes to school. When you go to school and you study business, you get the general business degree, you end up a gym teacher. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to study discipline. There's a discipline in that. You either in finance, marketing, you got to have a discipline to really excel. So all you got to do is you take that same discipline and apply it to, this is an industry. You don't even have to drink beer. You don't have to like beer. But then if you start seeing people who look like you also in the industry, you may want to ship those cans. You may want to work at that brewery down the street. You may want to do these things because all of a sudden now it feels more inclusive as opposed to I ain't got nothing to do with that. And nothing with that shakes or jives with me.
Yeah, it's interesting. In the last maybe 4 or 5 months, I've gone to some different cities, and some of the cities you wouldn't expect to see diversity. You see it. Like I went to Dallas, I was like, look at all these black people in this brewery. You know what I'm saying? I was shocked because you wouldn't think Dallas would have, but they do. So, Kansas City is weird because it's not there at all. But no, it's unfortunately it's not. And that's
I had an instinct where I wanted to defend it. No,
you can't. No, you can't defend that shit.
No, there's not.
And it's not nothing against the people who are in the field because they want it. But again, we talk about this in every damn episode. You got to put it out there for the people, to know. You don't know if you like it or not if you're never exposed to it. You know what I'm saying? Right. And I think what you guys are doing with your festival, again, it's a beer festival, but it's not. It's some whole other shit. So even those who are uninitiated might show up and be like, "Oh, this is how the beer folks do it." Oh shit!
Survive.
I'm sorry, Siri's talking to me. Sorry, boo, I ain't talking to you.
he got so animated. Siri joined in.
Yeah, she said, "Motherfucker, you right."
She just said, "Preach."
See, I'm saying it now. She on my computer, jumping.
Right.
I mean,
you can't say her name. She
listens all the time.
Candy man gonna just be called Siri, and she's just
Siri.
On your thoughts. Like, God damn.
I mean, but like that's the thing about the fest is that that first year and even the second year or whatnot, folks come like there were so our target demographic is black women. I mean, like because they're the least heard. So if you build a festival based on the the least, then you make it better for everyone, right? I mean, like they're the ones seeing. Also women of every culture are the early adapters, the one that push us. They communicate, they share ideas, they support early. Men are a bunch of haters. We're like, who the heck is doing that shit over there? I don't know them up. Hey,
yeah.
It's not until we see the ladies in there, and we're like, all right, well, I mean, that's why it's ladies' night, right? I mean, it's not men's night because when the ladies
there ain't no man's night up in there,
right? I mean, and then we fuck around and find some new shit, and we're like, oh shit, all right, cool, and then we try to act like we always been down. I mean, like but I mean, a lot of women that came to the festival were like, listen, I didn't come because I like beer. I came because I support the movement. Again, a testament to black women and how they keep shit going because they're like, look, we see the opportunity here. Whether or not I like this shit has nothing to do with it.
Right.
I could probably feed my kids off of it. So I showed up. And I mean, and that's the fucking the vibe. I mean, I forgot what the fuck we were even.
hey, how's that stout going over there, bro?
How's that 13.5% going?
I mean,
I haven't even seen him take a sip. How is that going away? Like
osmosis.
Like, I ain't seen him lift his glass in 30 minutes. What is going on?
Hey, hold that up to the camera. Let's see the artwork on that glass.
Oh yeah, man.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Jay Wallace, who actually does the artwork and branding for the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Oh shit.
A black man out of Cleveland and whatnot.
Cleveland's the best.
Cleveland is all right.
You went to Cleveland to get the graphics. That's all.
Damn.
But yeah, I mean, shout out to Jay Wallace, man. If you ever need any work, man, he killed it on that. So yeah, no, but like I said, I mean, the coming in and I don't even know what the hell I'm talking about anymore, man. That shit is
13, I got to him.
So that's a shout out to Diametric.
That diabolic.
Diabolic.
Well, we can't keep saying that because we need that. We need that. We need
Yeah.
sometimes diabolic.
We're gonna make that call
We're-
this weekend.
we're gonna make that
See if
happen.
we can make that happen.
Hell
What,
yeah.
what was that? What was that? Remember that fucking what was the precursor to Scientology? It was like it used to come on. It was like Dianetics.
Oh, it was Dianetics.
Dianetics.
Yes. Like the soap operas would be on, and it would just like be this weird ass book, and it was like Dianetics.
Yep.
I remember being scared as shit as a kid of that.
L. Ron Hubbard.
That might have predated me. I don't know.
That's an interesting dude.
Yes, indeed. So, hey, so Nick and I, we're on the VIP tip, right? That's what we do. Well, he doesn't know that, but he's about to find out. That's what I do.
I'm a little worried about some hazing on this trip. I'm gonna be honest with you.
You'll be fine.
Hey, man, you be all right.
No, I'm not so scared. I'm scared of him.
I know. I'm saying you're gonna be all right. I
got you.
We ain't
Look, I might follow you home and just be in the bushes out front crying. It's no big deal.
What's the VIP gonna be like this year? Because you got me in 19. Not only did I come to the fest, but the VIP I was like, who does this? No one. Never did that. And I tell people all the time, what happened? They're like, you got to be kidding me. I'm like, nope, that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, it's gonna be similar to 2019. So the hotel where we're putting up all the Black-owned breweries, the discounted tickets and whatnot.
That's where we're staying, by the way.
Is going to be at the DoubleTree. So from 9 to 5 Friday, you will have 2 speaker series going on simultaneously. One will be more brewery industry specific kind of focused talks. The other will be, more general kind of talks, more on the, as a small business. I mean, whether you want to get in, and again, with this festival, we're looking at the economics, whether you want to get into brewing or not, or the beer industry, there's some shit like, how do you go into a brick and mortar as a small owned business, right? Whether you're brewing beer or, knitting fabrics, the path to a brick and mortar, business is a dicey one. So, we want to give those, small business tools and things of that nature. And talking about, getting to know folks. There'll be a couple of podcasts. Some of the ones that you're more familiar with might be in that lineup and whatnot. Viewing the One Pint at a Time movie with Aaron Jose and the crew is going to be a dope experience and whatnot. The Pittsburgh Brewers Guild is going to be putting on some talks. How to get your beer on retailers' shelves. Another discussion and whatnot. So that 9 to 5 will be 14 different speakers. There will be a catered lunch as well. So you will get Allegheny City Brewing is brewing up a lager that will pair well with the menu for lunch. That's provided with the ticket. You're getting 4 meals with this VIP.
Damn.
Yeah. I don't know about next year, but this year, 4 meals. So then that evening is the bottle share at the hotel.
Lord Jesus. I'm like,
Yeah.
You seem like the one that's gonna be the problem. I don't know why you're crossing your heart.
nah, you know what I did last year? I dipped out and went to the Steelers preseason game. I was like, this is gonna be lit, but I don't want to be that lit. I dipped on out.
Yeah. So
13's in the mail.
Yeah.
So it'll be the bottle share. All those dusty ass bottles that you got in your basement that you only pull out from fucking Instagram or whatever, you can bring those down to the bottle share. Yeah, I mean, there'll be 7 to 10 with that. And then Saturday, 12 to 9. So from 12 to 3 is the VIP portion. We got 2 indoor spaces. Those will be the only indoor spaces. You'll have access to that throughout the festival. Only 250 people out of 5,000 have access to that. Indoor bathrooms, catered lunch, some exclusive beers and whatnot.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, a DJ stage that only is available to the VIP folks, whole lineup just for them. And then Sunday, there's a brunch. So at the hotel, before beer pairing with the brunch before you get the hell out. You know what I mean? Go on your flight, come hang out, catch up with the folks that you may have met, you know what I mean, throughout the festival, trade numbers, get your meal, and get the fuck out. I mean, so that we can go to sleep. Me and Ed gonna be tired.
Hey, Day. We're not leaving till Monday.
Yeah, our flight's not till Monday, man. We're all in.
Because I know what happened on that Brewers brunch. I got in that Uber after that Brewers brunch was lit. I got to the airport. I was like, "Where's my flight?"
we talked about we gotta cut off some time just for Nigel, because after you hosted our mash that we did, Nigel just start hosting the mash. He was like,
that's kind of his thing.
I mean, duty called. I said, we got to hop in there and make it happen. Yes, and I can't wait.
No, look, he has been, seriously, the impact that had just on him, just on my friend, has been incredible to hear him talk about. So I'm really excited to get out there and finally see what all this is.
Then we had somebody hit us up on Twitter today. Who's going to Barrel Flow? I put my hands up, like, us. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, let's kick it. Let's fucking kick it. I can't wait. It would be Nick's first one. Yeah. Have you ever been to a beer festival?
Just local ones.
Yeah, he's been local. So look, have you ever been to Pittsburgh?
Gonna go to one of the locals.
I have not been to Pittsburgh. I'm excited about this.
He's dying to go to a Pirates game. That's what he wants.
Let me hold on. Let me.
I like baseball.
Don't think that when you come to this festival, don't think that you could just come to Pittsburgh in September every year and be like that. No, that ain't what it is. So
you saying this is the only time I'm welcome?
No. This would be the only time you can speak to me in public.
Oh, okay. like that's fair. That's not the first time somebody said that.
It was wild because, like, we were sitting outside of Ace Hotel that Friday, and like black folks were like, "Wow, there's so many black people in Pittsburgh, man." I was like, "Nah, you got to see this shit on Tuesday, bro."
Like, none of these people are from here.
Yeah, nobody was from there for sure.
Y'all brought all the black people.
Yeah, we brought them all in.
And it was, and that's the thing about like the fest is that like black people don't go to vacation in Pittsburgh. They definitely don't go to vacation in Pittsburgh in the summertime. You know what I mean? Like, most of the people that were there were at Pittsburgh for the first time, or for the first time by their own choosing. Most of the people were like, "Yeah, I had a conference here once. Like, somebody paid me to show up here once, and I left as soon as I could, but now I'm back." So yeah, no, it'll be a dope experience. This is the best showcase of the city. I think that this city, again, another aspect of the festival is to attract outside investment, specifically black investment. Especially from those bigger market cities. Like, now that we can work from home, now that we have more flexibility in where we can work, you can take those LA salaries, those New York salaries, those Miami or Chicago salaries, and come live in Pittsburgh. The cost of living is cheaper. The property is cheaper. The ability to make an impact in the city, in a short period of time is greater. And we want people to come in, see the beauty of the city, see the potential of the city, and maybe want to move in and build something greater. Maybe that first black-owned brewery that happens in this city comes from somebody that moves in, sees the came to the festival, sees the opportunity, meets up with some of the incubation, small business incubators that are present at the festival. Some of the connections that are at the festival that they learn and say, you know what, I'm going to invest in this city and and make it better, because it's not going to happen without outside investment. It's going to be a tandem of both uplifting the black people that are here and also attracting black investment from outside. That's going to, ultimately, build that black middle class community.
Because I think Pittsburgh is one of those cities that, like you say, that cost of living super undercover. Most people don't even know, that you can come there and you could live good on a decent salary. You know what I'm saying?
Did you break your bank while you was here?
No, I didn't break the bank. I just looked around. I was like, okay, a lot of people just don't understand. It's one of those cities that doesn't get a lot of love when it comes to the cost of living and things like that. And it's an easy city to get around. That's what I noticed. Except that goddamn airport.
You wasn't going
that airport. The airport though. Airport was like in another state and shit.
I ain't gonna let you look. Don't lie to the people. I don't know if it's easy to get around yet.
I thought it was. I mean, everything. Well, okay, everything fest related was closed.
Right. It was all that.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I could walk from the hotel to Heinz Field. I mean, to me, perfect.
Yeah, it's on the North Shore. I think North Shore is something. Yeah, that's one of the highlights here. But the city's growing. It's trying, and so now we're in a position where we got to like intentionally throw our hats in the ring. Like, because the investment is coming. People are noticed. They're taking notice of the city. Neighborhoods are being gentrified, and that comes for a reason. That shit happens for a reason. So we gotta be prepared to jump in.
Cost.
Well, yeah, but
I'm not just talking about financial.
Right. But there's financial opportunity. There's opportunity, right? Because you got to bring in folks who can afford this shit, and people who can afford this shit can afford your shit. So if you have shit that you trying to get out there, you gotta. And what I will say about Pittsburgh is there are a bunch of opportunities, from grants to dedicated like incubation funds and things like that for individuals to get their shit started. You just got to know where it is and how to get to it.
Right.
And we educate on some of that at the festival because it's a whole vibe. It's not just drinking beer.
No, it's not. That's why
a lot of it.
It's beer and other things.
It's beer and other shit, other stuff.
Like
you know what I'm
saying?
saying?
Just coming to drink beer, come and just drink beer.
Yeah, we got the beer.
There's a reason I went and got my beer sent to Kansas. I'm gonna be doing a lot of fucking talking. I can always see it.
Well, that's what we were talking about last night. I mean, just the show's about beer. All the stuff that we're doing is about beer, but it's really
about people.
It's a way to get in for the people, right?
It's all about
There's
the people.
A lot of people and stories.
It's all about the stories, man. I can't wait. I mean, I know so many people from that fest. It's ridiculous. I mean, easily, I still got probably a stack of 100 business cards. Easily. You know what I'm saying? Because I talk to everybody.
You the right way.
Yeah. I mean, and a lot of those people, I've hit them up and they've come on the show. You know, we've conversed. So it was a fucking watershed moment for me. You know what I'm saying?
I would venture to say half our guests have some connection to that festival.
I'm going to say you're probably just about 75% of them.
We getting some of this dire automotive money, or what was it?
He just said he want to get paid back.
They in the oil over there.
Right? Like, let me get some of that.
Some of that oil money.
Oil money, bro.
Yes, indeed.
The dyers are asking where that oil money is too.
That's right. It's being invested wisely.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Shit. Fellas, it's always a pleasure to have you guys on. I can't wait to see you guys in 10 days, not 7.
No, I can't wait.
Look, tell the people where they can find you guys on the socials and all that.
Tell them where they can find us. Hold on. They tell the people where they can find us.
Well, if you're looking for us, you can find us on epicastnetwork.com/partnerspot. You can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Libsyn, Google Play, and Spotify under Drinking Partners. You can find us on IG, Twitter, and Facebook at PartnerSpot. And from now until and then beyond, you can find us September 11th at barrelandflow.com.
And I will say this: if you like beer podcasts or podcasts in general, listen to the Drinking Partners. I'm telling you, it's not your average podcast. It's not. There's not many. I take that back. Y'all's is the only podcast that I listen to every episode. That's the only one. No shit. No shit. No shit. Because you guys have, you know what? What's the R&D? Robin Duplicate. The reason is because you guys get some guests on there. I'm like, I should get the motherfucker like that because it had nothing to do with beer, but the story was great. Whether it be comedian, like that one chick that has the food truck. I'm like, well, I'm gonna start doing some shit just like them. So
it's always about the stories.
Yeah, it's all about the stories.
The beer is a connector. People are, once they drink, they'll tell you more of the story.
and if they drink a 13.6, they drink a 13.6, they may not talk.
Did you finish that off yet? Are you done yet?
Yeah, let's see that glass, Dave. Let's see that glass.
Man, no, I'm gonna go ahead and finish this for the culture, man.
Do it for the culture.
This is real, man. So shout out to Diametric, brewing company or whatever. And man, fuck you, Nigel, for not telling me this was a.
You gotta finish it on camera.
I mean, is the can empty? I didn't think so. Look, I mean, there's still some shit in there.
Listen, I'm about to, as soon as I get off here, I'm calling a friend out this motherfucker. Like, this was Who Wants to Be a Billionaire, bro. I'm about to
phone a friend.
I'm gonna go phone a friend and find some help for this motherfucker because I still got about half that can in there, man.
Hey, beer should be shared.
Beering is sharing.
Beering is caring.
That's caring as well. Hey, Nick, where can they find us, man?
Well, this isn't as cool as what Day just did, but you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or most any of your favorite podcast apps, including, hey, Alexa, play the Beers with Nigel podcast.
You've been listening to Beers with Nigel, a show about beer and other stuff, hosted by Nigel Woodbury and that other guy, Nick Parker. Beers with Nigel is poured for you by Dire Oil Graphics, providing bumper-to-bumper graphic design, promo products, and print services. Find them at direoil.com. Beers with Nigel is a proud member of the Fredcast Network and is available on all of your favorite podcast flavors. Find Beers with Nigel on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and ask Alexa to play the Beers with Nigel podcast.